Hello, beautiful people of the Philippines and around the world. This is Yuqi, your Taiwan travel buddy. So, today is a very, very special episode because we are not traveling here in Taiwan, but I am bringing you somewhere very close to my heart, and that is into my past. So, just a short background of my life. My father was a drug addict. So, life back then was extremely difficult. I have experienced living in a chaotic house where my parents fight every single day. And every time my father comes home, he's drunk and restless. He keeps on yelling to everyone. He's mad without any reason. He accuses my mom of things that weren't true. And worse is that almost all the things he sees in our house, he just threw it away. And because of his addiction, he keeps on selling almost everything that can be sold, like my nebulizer, because I was an asthmatic, our motorcycle, even our house was sold. And he even reached to the point of selling our dictionary, but that's incomparable to what is really worse when he almost killed us. And that moment, that situation was still vivid in my memory, when my father arrived home in the morning and cooked euphorbia and forced us to eat it. Like literally what you see in the movies. We were inside a room together with my mom and my two siblings, and my father came, so we ran to the corner crying and was afraid of what my father will do to us. And there was even this time when my mom is pregnant with our youngest, and my father came home drunk as always, and so they quarreled to the point that my father hit my mom with an umbrella. Imagine that, what? And my mom cried so hard that time and thought that probably the child she was bearing would be gone or would have defects. That didn't just happen once. It happened many times. And that he was just terribly out of his mental state, and we don't know who that person was. So if you ask me if I have experienced living in an abusive environment, yes, I did. And I know a lot of you watching this have also experienced this dreadful situation. Else, you wouldn't be watching this video, or you might just be curious on what it feels like living in this environment. Well, if you are in my place, you might live or even commit suicide. I totally understand, because many times this also pops out of my mind. The question is, why did I stay? Why did I endure the pain? Why didn't we leave our father? The reason behind that is because of my dream. I had a dream when I was in grade 4. And this may be surprising to some, or to others it won't be. And others might not believe this, but this is my own experience. So my father again started to get addicted with drugs when I was in grade 2. And all those things I've mentioned happened when I was in grade 4. And for me, that was the peak of his insanity, or whatever you call it. And that was also the time that I had this dream. So I dreamt of a being so bright, and on his right side was another being, and I was carried and seated on the lap of that being on the right side, which I believe was Jesus. And there were people, and I don't know if those are people, but there are also beings in front of us, which I now believe as angels, singing and praising the being who carried me and the one beside us. Then this being who carried me whispered a verse to me in Psalms 23, and then I woke up, so I immediately opened my Bible and read it. Please allow me to read it to you as well. So let me start in verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So this was God's promise to me. So I clung on to this message since then. And God comforted me in that valley where I can only see was complete darkness, a representation of what it looks like without life. Then He told me to fear no evil, for He is with me. Honestly speaking, hearing these words, you might think easy for you to say, but considering the one who said it makes it even easier. Indeed, He carried me when I can't walk any longer. He comforted me when I felt alone, and He was my light in the darkness. So I stayed and prayed for my father to be changed. But surprisingly and ironically, He corrected me, like God corrected my prayer and changed it into something else. To pray that I will be changed for my father. Those words struck me like, why would I pray for me to change when I want to see the result on someone else's life? Isn't that ironic? But that's how God works. So He taught me to pray until I was changed day after day, and He allowed me to see the reason why my father is in that situation. And He even opened my heart to respond to His needs, and that is love, care, and kindness. That's all that my father needed. And I'll be honest with you that, of course, I developed hatred towards my father, because who wouldn't? Right? So, loving him was partly difficult. But because God showed His love towards a sinful man like me, who am I to not do the same towards others? So I showed kindness to him, like I learned to say those simple words that we children feel awkward saying, like, I love you, pa, good morning, thank you, sorry. Like, don't you know that those simple words can really change a person's day and even life? And true enough, little by little, that also changed my father. And to God be the glory, now he has completely changed. He became a loving father and a responsible one. He already cooks for us, not euphorbia, the real food. He works to feed us, and he makes sure to provide all our needs. and even our wants. So to end this vlog, I'll be giving you a message to understand the person you hate the most or who has hurt you the most. Because everyone has a struggle to deal with, and that person might probably in the situation that you wouldn't want to be. So instead of judging or hating, you can simply just love them, because that's what will change a person. Aside from, of course, loving is the best revenge, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's it for today, and I hope you learned something from today's episode. And always remember that you are deeply loved. So just keep on smiling. Stay safe, everyone, and see you on my next vlog. Bye bye.
Come to the Father, though your gift is small. Broken hearts, broken lives, He will take them all. The power of the Word, the power of His blood, everything was done so you would come. The power of the Word, the power of His blood.